Football fans are completely out of their minds. We will happily scream until our voices are gone, throw burning flares onto the pitch, and even get massive Champions League matches completely abandoned because of it. We like to tell ourselves that this deep, generational hatred is sacred. We convince ourselves it's about cultural identity, political revolutions, or deep socio-economic struggles. But when you actually dig into the history books, you realize that some of the most violent, bitter feuds in the world began over things that are incredibly petty, completely manufactured, or just downright stupid. We're talking about a brand new club created out of spite over a cheap rent dispute, a legendary player treated like a holiday timeshare, and a massive national rivalry actually invented by a TV network just to sell cable packages. Today, we're breaking down why football's deadliest rivalries make absolutely no logical sense. Take the Merseyside Derby, Liverpool versus Everton. On the pitch, this game is an absolute bloodbath, holding the official record for the most red cards in Premier League history pullers. But this local war didn't start over religion, politics, or class. It began in 1892 because of a basic stadium rent dispute. Most casual fans don't know this, but Everton actually came first, and they were happily playing their home matches at a stadium you might have heard of, Anfield. But the stadium's owner decided to aggressively raise the rent. Everton's board got furious, refused to pay, packed up their bags, and marched across Stanley Park to build Goodison Park. The stadium's owner was left standing there, holding an empty stadium with no tenant to pay him. So, out of pure, petty defiance, he decided to found a brand new club to take over his empty ground, Liverpool FC. Liverpool FC, and over a century of local hatred, exists simply because a landlord wanted more rent money. Which brings us straight to the city of Milan, AC Milan versus Inter Milan. This rivalry began in 1908, when a group of rebel members broke away from AC Milan during a massive boardroom civil war, because they didn't like the restrictions against signing foreign players. They founded Internazionale in disgust. But here is the absolute joke. Despite splitting in hatred, they have spent the last 100 years living under the exact same roof. They literally share the San Siro Stadium, constructed in 1925. Think about how insane this is. These two clubs hate each other enough to throw flares at goalkeepers, like in that infamous 2005 Champions League clash, when a flare struck Milan's keeper Della and got the match abandoned. Yet, they happily share the turf, split the stadium, and have to completely repaint and retheme the banners and colors of the arena every single weekend, depending on who is technically at home. They couldn't agree on a transfer policy, but they are perfectly fine sharing the exact same ground with their sworn enemies. But if you think sharing a stadium is a ridiculous compromise, wait until you hear what the Spanish Federation tried to force Real Madrid and Barcelona to share in 1953. This is the biggest club game on the planet, and yes, it has deep political roots. But the moment that truly poisoned the well in the modern era was a complete administrative joke. Both clubs tried to sign the same legendary striker, Alfredo Di Stefano. Because of a registration mess with his South American clubs, both Real Madrid and Barcelona believed they had officially signed him. It was a total deadlock. So, the Spanish Football Federation stepped in to resolve the crisis. And their official, brilliant solution? They ruled that the two most bitter rivals in Spain should simply share him. He would play for Real Madrid for one season, Barcelona the next, and they would keep alternating every single year like a holiday timeshare. Barcelona's board were so insulted by this ridiculous decision that they walked away from the deal in disgust. Di Stefano went to Madrid permanently, became the greatest player of his generation, and built their historic dynasty. The league literally tried to make their two biggest clubs swap their star player every 12 months. It is completely absurd. Now back to North London for Arsenal versus Tottenham Hotspur. Tottenham fans will tell you they hate Arsenal because the Gunners moved from South London in 1913, invading their territory by placing a stadium directly in Spurs' backyard. But the real, unforgivable betrayal happened in 1919. After the First World War, the English First Division decided to expand. Naturally, you'd think they'd promote the teams that actually earned it on the pitch. Instead, a highly controversial committee vote took place behind closed doors. And despite finishing only sixth in the second division, Arsenal somehow won the backroom vote and stole Tottenham's spot in the top flight, sending Spurs down. The details of that vote were never fully explained, and Spurs have felt cheated ever since. For over 100 years, North London has been a war zone because of a shady, century-old boardroom voting scandal. Finally, we go to France for Le Classique, Paris Saint-Germain versus Olympique Marseille. If you watch this match today, it looks like a genuine war of class and culture. But here is the corporate reality. This rivalry was completely manufactured in the late 1980s by a television network to sell cable subscriptions. Historically, Marseille was France's undisputed powerhouse, and PSG, founded only in 1970, was barely a blip on their radar. Marseille was walking through the league every year. TV viewership was tanking, and the matches had become a complete bore. So France's largest pay TV network, Canal+, bought PSG. They then actively collaborated with Marseille's president, Bernard Tapie, to aggressively spread media propaganda that the two clubs were sworn, bitter enemies. The fans took the bait, completely blinded by rage for a feud designed to make a television conglomerate rich. It got so ridiculous that in 1993, when Marseille's president was caught in a massive match-fixing scandal, Marseille's league title was stripped. Normally, the trophy should have gone to second-place PSG, but Canal+ refused to let PSG accept it. Why? Because they were terrified that awarding the trophy to Paris would upset their Marseille TV subscribers and ruin their pay TV profits. They literally canceled the league title for the year, just to protect their bottom line. So there you have it, a landlord's rent dispute, a shared stadium under one roof, a player timeshare, a shady committee vote, and a corporate television scheme. The reasons we hate our rivals make absolutely no sense. If you're a Liverpool, Everton, Barca, Real Madrid, Arsenal, Spurs, Milan, or PSG fan, let me know in the comments. Is your club's biggest rivalry built on a complete joke? Hit subscribe, because football makes no sense.